How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about city councils all over the nation, so-called activist groups all over the nation, regular normals and everything else wanting to disband police. Okay, there's one particular city council, this is in Minneapolis. A lot of their members have said that they are vowing to disband the police and then replace it with a transformative model of public safety. Now, I don't know what that public model is. You know, it sounds kind of familiar. I think we've been here before in history where there was no real police, but there was some kind of, little group of so-called volunteers that created a little vigilante force. And then that became a little bit more enshrined and a little bit well known, and it had some rules, regulations. Oh, that's right. I forgot the SS. That's what the SS was. It was the exact same thing. All right. And these people will say, you know what? You're a Nazi, you're a racist if you support the orange man bad, but yet they do all the things that the Nazi government did. It's playing out the exact same way. We've been here before. Okay, we see the brown shirts, that's Antifa. We see the SS, that's the so-called transformative groups and no police. All right, we see the overbearing government, crazy government, doing whatever they want, running roughshod, regulating the citizens, but not regulating the criminals. All right. We see the same exact thing happening here. They're trying to do it in Los Angeles. They want to take money from the Los Angeles Police Department and then, quote unquote, reinvest it into low income areas. What are you going to do with money in a low income area? What are you really going to do with more money? Okay, there's already plenty of money being pumped into these low income areas, and that's part of the problem. Okay, you got EBT, WIT, TANF, Section 8. What more do you actually need? What are you really going to do? There's so many resources in these big cities for low income people that just go unused. And what ends up happening is that they get used by outside people that understand how to do it more than those that live there, or they don't take it for granted. So what are you really going to do is going to actually help. And if you're defunding the police or partially defunding them to fund these programs, now you're leaving them more vulnerable. Let's be clear. The police are needed. In a lot of these poor areas, the black community, whatever, the police are the last bastion of hope. You got 75% kids born outside of wedlock. A lot of fathers ain't there. It's just women raising these kids by themselves. Where are the protectors? Non-existent. You got a high crime area where people become victim just because they live in the area. Grandparents. You saw the 77-year-old man that died, okay? And he was a former officer. When you take the police away, when lawlessness becomes the norm, you're going to endanger those that you claim to be protecting. It's very simple. All right. There's no dads there and there's no men there to protect them. Women with kids, they're going to be vulnerable to everybody. The gangbangers, the human traffickers. Is slavery still going on? Don't get that twisted. Sex slavery, like regular human chattel slave, that's still going on. You get caught out somewhere by yourself and you get kidnapped by 8 guys, put into a van. They don't see you no more. Okay, where are all these missing kids at? Where are these missing adults at? Okay, they're not necessarily dead, but they're missing. People don't look into missing persons, really. They don't look at it as a thing that really bothers them until it bothers them, until it affects them personally. But where are they? They're not always just presumed to be dead. That's kind of a fallacy, like, oh, okay, if you're missing, you don't know where your body is. No, you might be living, but you might not be anywhere near where you are from. We saw this story that happened in, Ohio? It might have been Cleveland, Ohio, with those girls that had been trapped as hostages, as sex slaves for 10 years. Okay, in the house, never came out, and nobody knew anything about it. That's going on all over the world and all over the country. So when you don't have any kind of police to protect these people or to prevent these things from going on, then what are you going to do? A paramilitary force, a vigilante force? Why not just have police? What's the difference? It's actually better to have police because there's more government oversight. Okay, let's say, for example, George Floyd is confronted by a vigilante force for stealing or something like that, right? If he dies while they're trying to apprehend him or in a scuffle, what's going to be the retort? What's going to be what happens? I mean, it'll just be like a regular crime, if any crime happens at all. And if they are going to be the ones that are judging it, it might not be a crime in their eyes. So if it's not a crime in their eyes, then what are you going to do as a citizen? Try to go out there and shoot them and kill them? We don't live in the Wild West. We don't live in a third world country. We live in America. We live in a first world country with actual norms and rules, regulations. We have that here. We don't need to rely upon antiquated ways of doing things. We have a great system. Is it perfect? No, it's not. But it's the best in the world. Everybody wants to come here. When you don't have the security, when you don't have that safety, you're going to be wide open to everybody that wants to come in. Okay. Now, some parts of the nation will have security that'll be there to protect themselves, but that's in some parts of the nation. Small towns, little villages, small cities, maybe, to protect certain neighborhoods. What about New York City? A city of 8 million people plus. Then you got the metro area, more than that. All those people, and a lot of them are in, kind of vulnerable positions to a lot of different kind of attacks. You got people that are trying to do arson, gas attacks, bombs, all kind of stuff. Are you going to have a bomb squad in your little vigilante group? People don't think these things through, really. And I don't think they really care. All they really care about is just one particular issue, but they don't look at it in a deeper way. If they can solve the issue of police brutality by not having police, it doesn't matter if the black on black murder rate jumps by 3-4-fold. If the murder rate in general jumps among all races by the same amount, it doesn't really matter, because we can say, oh, there's no more police shooting and killing because we reformed the police department. Yeah, you reformed the police department, but now you got more dead bodies. Okay, rather than having 10 to 15,000 homicides, you got 45,000 homicides. Okay, so was it worth it to do that? We should not vilify public safety officials. I saw, what was that, Lego taking away their advertisements for the police and fire Legos. It's like, really? So now you just openly hate the police? What's really going on? What is the purpose? I think the purpose here is just to save face, to look good for the internets, for Instagram and everything else. You go into George Floyd's funeral, crying for no real reason. You're being manipulated emotionally by these things that are going on. I don't even really, I sparingly watch television, but I can't watch the coverage of what's going on in Minnesota. It's too much, it's over dramatic, and it's not looking at what's really going on. Black on black, who cares about David Dorn? Who cares about Patrick Underwood or Italia Kelly? Who cares about them? People like myself and many others that are conservative on the internet, we do, but mainstream media, don't really care. It's not really a big story, but George Floyd gets all the attention. It's, you know what? I got to close out, but as I close, I'm going to say this. Don't disband the police. All right. We need the police. If you disband the police, you're going to have crime skyrocket. That's a fact. Okay. There are plenty of elements you don't see out there every day that the police see every day. Okay. You don't see the gangbangers all the time. You don't see the human traffickers, the pedophiles, the drug runners. You don't see these people on TV. You don't know these people. They operate in the shadows, and the police got to go into these shadows to apprehend these people so they won't harm you. If you really knew what was out there outside your door, you probably stay home forever. You won't want to leave. Okay, these people exist. They're out there. And the only line of defense between them and us on an everyday basis is the police. Is the military. If you try to disband that or water it down or hamstring them, you're going to just put those you purport yourself to be in favor of, the low income people, the poor brown man, you're going to put them in more danger. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Should we abolish the police? Should we, quote unquote, defund the police or reduce police funding in our cities? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. And what's going to be there in its place? The SS unit, that's what happens. That's how it becomes. Like, it doesn't start as the SS. It starts as, some volunteers coming together, helping out. But then you realize what you got to do to be effective and to be able to stop crime and violence and whatnot. And then it becomes a whole different thing that becomes overbearing, too powerful, non-regulated. That's the SS. The brown shirts, all of that, it comes as a result. Like I said before, earlier in the video and before this video started rolling, the left are what they purport the right to be. They say that we're the Nazis, We're the KKK. We are the SS, all this, that, and the third. But they are exactly that. Governor Ralph Northam wearing the Klan robe and or blackface in his yearbook picture. Okay. The left talking about killing off black babies is a good thing. Genocide of black babies. They'd have done much more than the Klan could ever dream of. All right. Then you want to have this little paramilitary force of civilians. That's going to be the SS. All right. Then you want to have overbearing government on top of that. That's going to be that's Nazi government. The Nazi government was big government. Let's be clear. It wasn't a right-wing thing. Right-wing government is less government, or at least it should be. Left-wing government is more government, more intrusive, more into your everyday life. Papers, please. That was the left in Germany during that particular point in time. That's a fact. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.